Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong. Welcome to the back office. Atari STs are absolutely great, but their joystick port placement is rubbish. We all know how bad it is. You've seen it on all the videos. So this is how you can make some extenders. So the first thing you need is one of these, and these are designed to go in a PC, and they're to extend out a couple of serial ports from the motherboards for those PCs that still have onboard serial I/O. So all you need is one of those risers with the bits and bobs on them, and then just a bag of these, and these are basically the same thing in reverse. So you're going to make an extension lead. That's all it is to it. So you can put this in underneath your Atari ST and you'll have this sticking out, and then you can plug your mouse straight into the end of that. So I haven't got any pin outs or anything on this, so we're just going to go through the sort of process really of trying to work out how to hook this up, and then we'll just sort of hook it up. That's it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug one of these in on top, because that gives me a nice means of actually probing this, because I'm going to have to probe it with the meter. Just so you know, looking at the ports, pin 1 is this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's exactly how it is. So pin 1 is this one. So we're going to just go through pin by pin because we want to replicate it basically. We want to solder it. Oh, I just thought of something. You could technically solder as you go along. In fact, maybe we'll just do that. So I'm going to get my scissors. Cut the end off. We don't need that. In fact, let's cut both ends. We could actually do 2 at a time. Now we're talking. This is sort of real ghetto style soldering. Now I don't really like messing with ribbon cable because the insulation actually melts at quite a low temperature. You can pick those apart with your fingers or get your knife, just sort of get in there. The hard part really is trimming them all back to be the same sort of length if you want something that looks half decent when you've finished. And if you did, well, if you're so inclined, you could actually put some heat shrink over the end, or find a sort of clamshell clamp to go over that to tidy this up when you're done. But I'm not going to bother this. This is just purely to get it working. You can make it pretty later. So I'm pulling all the wires out. I'm going to assume that I would just go and try to find a nice clamshell to go over the outside of that and just pretty that up. So I'm not going to worry too much about the lengths and things like that. So how am I going to strip these with this? So, yep. The yep, by the way, is me being happy that I haven't knackered it. Because if you knacker one, you kind of have to start again. Because then you'll end up with a really weird length. That's not too bad. So you'll have your old trusty sort of snips, pliers, whatever you use to strip wire. Maybe you might even use a wire stripper. That's the last one. So there. I'm just going to do one actually. I was going to emulate it and do 2 at the same time, but life's too short. It's easy enough just to copy. So I'm going to get the old soldering iron on, and while that's heating up, I'm going to try to just feather these out a bit and then straighten them, because you can see the wires have really splayed. It's a bit cold. I'm not going to get. I don't think I can get in there and just twist each one. I don't think I've got the patience. So I'm just going to tin these and then trim them back. That's going to be my solution. So let's see how we're going to tackle that. Focus on this, not on those. Focus on this. My camera is struggling. Here we go. Do you want to be my focus puller? Come and do focus pulling for me. Tinned. Got a few that are just a bit too close. Try to splay them out a bit more. Yep. I'm not totally proud of what I'm doing, but it'll get the job done. So now they're all tinned nicely, and I'll let you see. Nicely tinned. Now, I don't need them that long. In fact, I need them only a fraction of that length, so I'm going to cut them down probably to about a third. And then you could see I didn't have to twist them in because the bases are all close together and have soldered up nicely. Looking good. So let's get our thing back in the clamp. Giving him the clamps. Right. Multimeter on to continuity test. So we'll hear the beep. Pin 1. If pin 1 goes to the red, that'll be nice. It does. Pin 2, does that go to the next one? Yes. Pin 3. Pin 4. Pin 5. Yep. Now here's the tricky one. Pin 6. Yep. Pin 7. Pin 8. Pin 9. Wow. Who'd have thought it? They're all actually wired sequentially. So the red is pin 1. I'm blown away by that. That's going to save a lot of time. I don't know why I assumed it would be any other way, but I think I did assume it because sometimes you'll have pin 1, 2, done this way because mechanically that's easier to do. But some poor guy in Far East somewhere has had to sit down and make sure these are all soldered in sequentially for us. Good. That's the sign of a good job. So we know that the first row is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's pick off the first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to have a front lot and a back lot basically. So let's get the front ones in. I'm just sort of curling over back on myself here, so I'm going to adjust my clamp a bit. There we go. So possibly you might be able to see it. Probably not. That's not good. That's not good. Let's try it this way around. Yes. That will make life easier for all of us. Okay, pin 1. Done. So you can see the real benefit of pre-tinning those. You really don't have to mess with them once you do. My fingers are a bit cold, and you can see I've wounded my thumb, so he's a bit sluggish this morning. So I'm going to try to use some tweezers, I think. Yep. That's pin 3. Pin 4. And pin 5. Get in there. So just got to do these sides now, which is a bit more interesting because it's looped back on itself, but I think I can get in there. You can see anything at home. You'll have to take my word for it. Here, pin, what would this be? 6. Pin 7. Come on, pin 8. Yeah. So I don't really remember having a problem with the ports here. I think the problem was if you had to sort of play 2-player, you'd need to sort of unplug joystick 1 or something, the way the mouse and the joystick are in the same port. There were stories of that knackering out the Atari connector, but I never had that issue. The connector, interestingly enough, is on the bottom of the keyboard. So I'm going to jump cut and get onto the second one, and then we'll have a play on the Atari and see if it actually works. Okay, that's the second one done. It was way quicker doing it second time round, I have to admit. Practice makes perfect, and you only need to do one to be good at these, it seems. So that's the mighty fine looking pair of ports. So the only thing left to do is actually try it. So we'll just clear the decks. Look, I'll zoom the camera out so you can see my assorted tools and rubbish. I've got an Atari just off camera. happy to unplug it there. So yeah, that's it there. You can see it's a USB thingy sticking out the side from the Gotek we installed a little while ago. It's not actually screwed together, so I'm a little bit worried that it's all going to fall apart, but nope, it's stayed together. Ah, look. Kenneth. What's the frequency, Kenneth? Kenneth? Why are you writing your name on it? Get this out gently. Yeah, this is quite stiff. Maybe that's why they died. You know, these are really, really quite a stiff port. You can't quite see in there, but there's the two standard things, thingamajigs. And this is what we've made. So logically, it makes sense to install them that way. That's the way around the ports are. I'm hoping they can go in with these big metal flanges. Yeah, they do. And don't worry, I'll push the camera around after I've installed them. That is mighty, mighty close though. But yeah, good. So if you look there, you can see there's a tiny gap between them, but they do fit in rather perfectly. So yeah, with this ribbon, you could do all sorts really. There's enough room actually in the case itself there. You could have the ribbon fold back on itself and you could install these in the drive bay. Now that is a tempting thing to try, isn't it? Because again, sorry about the angles here, but yeah, you could easily put them in the drive bay. Now, that being said, that's well and good, but I'm going to try to now plug the Atari ST in to a monitor. Don't worry, I'm going to use a different camera so you can have a look, see what's happening, and we'll give it a go. So we have one Atari ST, one monitor, with the nice vertical banding you get when you try to sort of get it to work on a modern VGA. One Atari mouse connected via this wire to our new interface. Does it work? The moment of truth. Yes, it does! Hooray! And as you know, the mouse uses more pins than the joystick, so I'm not even going to try a joystick because I know it's going to work. Absolutely brilliant. So I hope that's been of some use to you, and you've now have the option of avoiding trying to get into these awkward ports. Please leave comments down below if you think I should whack this into the side of a case or leave this virginal, leave this an original case. Well, apart from, of course, that someone's cut the drive eject thing here, and I've kind of loosely wedged this in for now. Remember, it's not actually screwed together yet. Yeah, please like and subscribe if you're that way inclined. If you're into Atari STs, by the way, please check out my Atari ST playlist. So as I do more and more of these Atari videos, I'm going to just add them to that playlist so that we can keep them all in one place. And I'm probably going to start playing a few games too. As ever, thank you for watching.